Okay, let's go. Let's go. We are live. Today we will rank business models to hit $10,000 per month fast. Give you a sneak peek. So the models, we'll rank them. Awesome, how are you? Okay, perfect. I would say let's go and start with the first one. Okay. Good, so the first business model to hit $10,000 per month fast. Let's rank it. This one. What is it? Trading. So with trading, you obviously need some funds, because let's say you double your amount. Let's say you have $100 and you double that amount, then you have $200, right? So how to get to $10,000 a month? That means every single month you make $10,000 is really hard unless you have a ton of money. So let's say you have 100K, maybe even better 200, 300K. To make a few percent return on that every month is possible. So if you think ETFs, right? Exchange traded funds, these are the index funds. So S&P 500, you maybe have heard about it. These are funds which indices which take the average of the best performing stock out there. So the S&P 500 is the top 500 stocks, and if someone doesn't perform anymore, drops out, another one comes in. This thing on average makes you 8% per year, 8% per year. So that means obviously you have to make, for 10K a month, you have to make $120,000 divided by 8%. That is $1.5 million. So if you have $1.5 million laying around, you put it in an ETF, you will hit $10,000 per month fast. If you do not have 1.5 million or you have less than that, I would say it is hard, it is risky, and it's not going to be quick. So I will put it here in C. You can of course do day trading, and there's a lot of schemes out there on the web that promise you to make even more than that per month. But the people that really crush this and in the end make that money are just very few. So I think it's a C for that reason. It's not the worst, but it's not going to make you money fast. Okay, next one, TikTok. I just came up with things which I hear like, hey, should I go on TikTok to make $10,000 really fast? Maybe with TikTok Shop. It's okay. First of all, TikTok is a platform to really quickly get followers and engagement, but the value per follower is quite low. So a TikTok follower compared to a YouTube follower is worth maybe 1% of what a YouTube follower is worth. And then you have to monetize with TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop is super competitive. You can crush it if you're strong, but it's not easy. So I would say making 10 grand with TikTok Shop, even though there's a lot of people out there say that this will make you a ton of money, I would give it a C. I mean, let's say this. If you are really into it, which you have to be to crush anything, I think you can get there. So let's make it a B. Let's go with the next one. Crypto. Crypto. Look, this is about fast, right? Not most sustainable. The faster, the higher the risk, and so on and so forth. With crypto, you have definitely a higher risk, but you can make money much quicker because the volatility is way higher. What does it mean? Volatility means if you would have put 10 years ago $10,000 on Bitcoin, today it would be worth billions, maybe hundreds of millions. On the stock exchange, you would have made much less, but the risk was very different. Of course, in hindsight, everyone is smarter, but you never know. I got burned so hard with crypto because I wanted to grow it even faster. So I invested not in Bitcoin or ETH. I invested in altcoins. So these are other coins which are supposedly, they can grow up even quicker, but they can also die off completely. There are so many people out there that tell you that the next hottest shit coin is right there and you need to buy it, which in 99.99% is a scam and a fraud, so don't do that. I think Bitcoin is for 10K a month. Let's say this. I think Bitcoin right now is close to 100K. Let's look that up real quick. Bitcoin USD now, 82. Yeah, it's at 82. I think you will make way more on Bitcoin. So let's see. What's the IRR of Bitcoin in the last 5 years? %57. Yeah. We don't want to have the total increase in 5 years. We want to have the IRR. This is the internal rate of return, meaning the yearly return. If you would, let's say you 5x a thing over 5 years, but then the internal rate is always normalized to a month, to a year. Yep. So let's go with 57%. If you want to make $10,000 per month, that's $120,000. And you divide that by 57, $210,000. So let's be a little bit more conservative. Say it's 30%, 400,000. So if you have $500,000, let's say, $500,000 in cash, not 1.5 like with stocks, I would say you can put it on in Bitcoin, and the chance that you make 10K a month off that every year is actually quite high. So I would put it in A. But of course the risk is high, also called the alpha. Good. So what's next? Real estate. Oh, I love real estate. Yeah, so let's talk about real estate. Real estate, as you can see here, there's residential, commercial, industrial, and just land. I personally love residential because with residential, especially multiplex, you have way less risk than with commercial. You know what happened with COVID and now post-COVID, commercial is just another game. If you are really strong in residential, I think you can go into commercial and then at some point maybe into industrial. But I would not recommend you to start with any of that. You also need a ton of money. So residential makes sense. The best thing on residential is to start with a house, or with just an apartment, with a condo. Just make sure that you're not so dependent on the on the other tenants. I think in the US it's called, for example, HOA, the homeowner association. In Europe it's called differently. The more freedom you have, the better, because otherwise they will just like do renovations that don't make sense. They will just like rip you off, and in the end you're not making a lot of money. And also I think the whole spiel then with Airbnb, which maybe even is another one that we should put here on the right, is getting more and more saturated. But I would say real estate is a really good one if you already, again, have money from your business, from your core business, and you want to put it into a different asset class like real estate to make sure that you get just a decent return. The interesting thing is real estate is actually a pretty shitty business if you think logically about it, because you get you get rent every month, but you also, so let's say if I make 100K rent a year, but I have to buy the property for 4 million, right? So that's $100,000 divided by 4 million. That's a 2.5% interest on like the rent on the purchase price, right? So this is not interesting because, like we said earlier, with the S&P 500, you would get 8%. So why would anyone ever do that? Well, the reason is because you can leverage. You're obviously not buying, let's say, that multiplex for 4 million in cash. You're buying it for 10% of that, maybe 2.5% of that, maybe not even with any equity, any of your own money. And then all of a sudden the return on equity is crazy high because you get the rent, the appreciation, and when you sell it, you have a really strong IRR, internal rate of return, because of the very little money that you put in. But obviously when you start, you don't know how to do it, and then with every single unit that you do, you get better and better. So real estate is good because of leverage. So how to make 10K a month with real estate? I would say you can do a rent-to-rent model where you rent something and then you furnish it, put furniture in, or you just market it differently, and with that you can make margin on that. Still not easy. How to make it quick. What you can do within a year is you also buy, at least in Europe you can do that, you buy a really big house and then you sell single units out of that house at a higher price. I would say it's also more long term, but really good. If you want to make 10K fast and you don't have the funds, I would say it's a C actually. Yep. Okay, cool. Next one. One-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching is really interesting because compared to a course where you just watch something, its perceived value is really low, you would then maybe can sell the course for 10, 20, 30, 50, maybe $100. But one-on-one coaching, if you can position yourself as the expert and you have some proof with testimonials that you have helped to transition and transform from A to B, from the bad life to the good life, then I think it's a really good one. The easiest is to talk about what you have accomplished in the last 5 or 10 years. If you look closely, like what were the dragons that you slayed, so that someone else doesn't have to go through that same pain point. And what you always would want to sell is you want to sell money. You want to sell money because selling money is the easiest sell. What do I mean by that? If you sell someone on how to make $1 million or how to make 100K, and that is $10,000, $5,000, that's a really good investment. Of course, it has to be trustworthy, but if you sell money, then that's the best way to start. There's 3 big buckets out there: health, wealth, and relationships. In these 3 buckets, the willingness to invest significant money for your clients is as high as it can get. So relationships, right? In the end, we don't want to die alone. We want to have children. We want to have a good relationship with the dream man or woman. That's worth a ton. It's priceless. Then health. If you've ever remembered, whenever you are sick, you have the man flu or the man cold, or you broke a bone or whatnot, like the moment when you are sick, you realize how precious your health is. And health, let's say back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, headaches, migraines, diabetes, all of that. If you can credibly show that this can be improved, this condition, it's again priceless. And wealth is what I meant by selling money. So you can show people how to make 100K, 1 million and more. And if that's credible, then people will invest in that. So I would say this is definitely up here. If you have to make money really quick, then this is the super thing. It's up here. Awesome. Let's go with the next one. Did I put Bitcoin in A? Okay. Do you know who that is? Guess. That is David Ogilvy. David Ogilvy is the grandfather of marketing. He became really strong in portraying emotions. And when people look at his banners, his classifieds, people just then kept buying the products. So today, with copywriting, with 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 direct response branding, with the whole branding piece, that's just what he did. Is that something that you can make 10K fast really, really quick? I would say no, but it's one of the most important skills that you need in order to build a successful business. So I would say that is nah. Let's say this. If you build a business out of this, and I think I have this here, like a marketing agency, then it might be higher. So let's do this. I put it here in D, but the agency business behind it will be higher, which we could maybe do next now. So digital marketing agency. Boom. Where is that? C, B, A, S, or D? You can help people with their email marketing. People have lists. They're not touching them. There's a ton of money in the list. Then you either go with a retainer or you go with a success fee. The same for social media advertising. There's so many companies out there who do not know how to market effectively. Meta is still working really, really well. And if you create captivating creatives with a good story behind and a good landing page, then this is definitely something which will be very valuable for lots of companies. You can build a profitable funnel for them, and with that they can grow their business. And if you can show that you're an expert and you have to get into it really hard in order to become the best to close clients, then this is one where you can very quickly get 10K, make 10K a month. You need maybe 2 clients to get there, maybe 3, maybe 1 if you do it right. So I would say it must be higher than Bitcoin. Must be higher, must be up here. Digital marketing agency, super fast. Okay, cool. Let's go on. What's next? LinkedIn? Let's just grab that one. The categories only make partial sense because these are channels and these are business models. But then you have LinkedIn influencers and they make money. If you grow and become a creator on LinkedIn, and then you have, again, your one-on-one coaching, you have courses and so on. Yeah, that can work. To grow on LinkedIn is also not easy. It's easier right now than on YouTube, for sure, and easier than on Instagram. And as there's businesses, purchase power is high. And you can also do outreach campaigns around your content to your ideal customers. That's a big difference compared to Meta, because on Meta or Instagram or also TikTok, you don't really know who these other people are. But on LinkedIn, you have their whole CV in there and you know where they're working and what likely they will earn and what their problems are and so on and so forth. So you can do very targeted outreach. And then people check out your profile, they see what you're doing, and that then can convert. So I think in terms of qualified outreach is really good. Think about this. If you send an email to someone, this person, if he or she doesn't know you, thinks obviously that this is scam, spam, why are you doing this, and will delete it. I mean, who reads emails anyways? They don't know that you're really good. On LinkedIn, the thing that they see when you reach out, they see your picture, they see what you do, they can then click on your profile, check you out, and they already, based on the followers that you maybe have, based on the quality of your profile, they see that you are legit. And that converts way better than an email. And with that, if you solve their problem, if your profile is exactly what they need, and you of course should only approach your ICPs, your ideal customer profiles, then yeah, you can sell to them. And you can of course sell coaching, you can freelance, you can do whatever. So I would say LinkedIn, making 10K through LinkedIn, because you can do the outreach with your limited followers, that is really high up. I would bank bet on that way more than on these other two if you have to make 10K fast. Okay, cool. So what is next? Software. Software is obviously down here, but okay, let's say, why is it down there? Software is expensive. You have to hire developers that build you that thing. You then have to see if it really drives value. Then people will pay $10 and $20, $30. Maybe it's even a free trial. No one's paying anything in the beginning, right? But then if the software is good, if the product is nice, they will use it more often, and then at some point become paid members and then expand on that, and you can then pay a lot of money. For example, Stripe, it's free. When we started, we paid nothing, but now we make a ton of money through Stripe because it's our payment processor. So we use Stripe to collect payments, and we pay $40,000, $50,000 a month to Stripe in commissions, which is crazy. But yeah, that's the power of software. So is it how fast is it to make $10,000 a month? 100% not. So that's a D. But here comes the but. With AI, Google AI Studio, Replit, and all these services, you can actually build a software quite quickly by yourself. And if you nail the messaging and the product is working and you put a payment processor there to collect $20 a month, you need then in that case 500 people to make 10K a month. You have to market that. I would say it still sucks, but with AI, it for the first time ever got the potential to move into a C. But I will keep it at D. Is software then a shitty thing that no one should ever do? 100% not. I love software. I'm a big fan of software. With software, you get a return, a multiple on revenue, which means that if your company even makes, let's say, 10K a month, right? It's 120,000 a year. You can, if you do it smartly, get a 10x return on, or a 10x multiple on that revenue. So that means your company is worth $1 million. So if you then sell it, you will get $1 million for it, and that is worth way more than an agency. For that reason, super interesting. But I would say if we would talk here how to make $1 billion, and not fast, but with the highest likelihood, and it will take some time, obviously, SaaS would rank highest. But this is about 10K a month fast, so that's not software. Yeah. So what you can see here is it depends a bit on the question, so that you know where SaaS ranks, which is software. Subscription, software as a service. Okay, maybe that's a good segue to talk about subscription revenue, which I have somewhere. Let's see. Do you have that somewhere? Subscriptions. No, I don't have that. But let's quickly add it. Subscription business model images. Here, let's take this one. Okay. You know what? Maybe it was there. Underneath here? Yeah. I knew it. Okay, so then subscription business models. Subscription business models, that could be a paid community where people pay you $10, $20 a month. For example, school.com is the prime model for that. They only had subscriptions until recently, where you now can also charge one-time products. But everyone is more or less offering subscriptions there. Is it a good model or not? I think it's great for low-ticket items. So who's going to pay $50,000 a month as a subscription? No one really, unless you're like a big agency. So quite often these are here community offers, can also be courses. It can also be coaching. To make 10K a month, it's much harder to convince someone to go into a subscription than to just pay a one-time fee of, let's say, 5K, 2K or so. So I would put subscription businesses in a B. Definitely faster than real estate or trading, but Yeah, with an agency, you can just like make that money way quicker. Community business. Oh, we just spoke about that. So I would say community business would be there for, if it's a pure community without courses, it's very likely a C. If you had courses on top, you do one-on-one coaching upsells on top, it's higher. But I would still give it a C to make it just simple. If it's just a community, because communities are hard to monetize, and you have to have a community, right? If you know no one and you there's no one, then the community will be tiny. You'll have 5 people, 10 people in there that pay you $10 a month, $20 a month. It's really hard to make 10K for that reason. Which brings us to an info business. Yeah, just imagine this is called info business, not business info. Selling courses on a captivating landing page. Yeah, that works also if you don't have a community. So I would definitely say, and this could be one time, not subscription, definitely is up here. It's quicker because you can charge for, let's say, $500, and then you need 20 people and you're at 10K. So getting every month 20 people to buy your $500 online course is possible. Yeah. One-on-one coaching is still quicker. Okay, cool. Instagram. Assuming you don't have a big following and you don't know how to make money, really hard, really hard. What you can do is something called social hacking. You reach out to people that you, so here's what you do. You take your profile, you create in the bio what you're about. Let's say you're helping people to fix their back pain or neck pain. Okay, perfect. You put that there. You put yourself trustworthy, like super trustworthy in what is it, like a white dress or whatever, like makes sense, so that you look legit. You then have a post, minimum, let's say 9 or 12, so that your profile doesn't look empty. How you show reels on why you are such an expert on fixing back pain and your routines and whatnot. And then you would engage with other creators who are already bigger than you. And obviously there are people then commenting on these posts about their back pain and their issues. And you would comment there as well, sharing how you would actually fix that. What would you recommend them to do? Which exercises to go to fix their back pain? And with that, you would then get customers through DMs, and then you convert them. It's a bit like what we had with LinkedIn, right? Where they go to your profile, like with LinkedIn, and then you can have an interaction, and then so DM conversation, then you convert into a one-on-one. Okay, so how fast can you make $10,000 a month with Instagram? I think right now it's below LinkedIn, it's below one-on-one coaching. It's somewhere here. Okay, great. Like I said, these only make partial sense because Instagram is a channel, this is a business model, this is a crypto coin. But in the end, still, you can make money with that. And people ask me that, so we go one by one through all of these. Okay, special type of agency. An AI agency where you sell automations and you help people, companies, to succeed in a new age where you don't need to always hire people, but you can set up automations that help you in marketing and sales and operations to run more effectively. And with that, you can 2x, 3x, 4x your output with the same team that you have, or even a smaller team. Everyone out there, and I still see that in reels that I'm posting, I get so much more engagement on anything that is AI related, that it's easier to get attention. And if you have a good product, a good offer that drives value to your ideal customers, then yes, you can charge premium price point. And yes, there's a ton of AI agencies already out there and a lot of AI influencers sharing how it works, but still the opportunity is huge and the whole corporate space needs to be transformed. And the demand is way higher still than the supply. So for that reason, actually, it's not even an A, it's an S. It's even higher than the digital marketing agency, I would say. Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. So let's go with the next one. YouTube. Why not? YouTube is a beast. A YouTube follower is worth way more than an Instagram or TikTok follower. So if you have 100,000 YouTube followers, that's likely multiple millions of TikTok followers in comparison. Building up YouTube followers is painfully slow and takes forever. So for that reason, I would put it down here. But once you have it, it's crazy. The amount of access that you get, the amount of trust, your sales close rates just go high up to I seen 80%, because people have spent so much time with you watching the videos that they know exactly what they will be getting. There's a lot of trust, obviously, as well, by spending all the time with you. And then, yeah, you have a really good business. So if the question would be how to build a business which generates a ton of money with which is way more sustainable but not fast, then I would say yeah, YouTube is great. But if you want to make 10K fast, YouTube is definitely not the right thing. Also compared to Instagram, right? Like here you can reach out, you can do the social hacking. Here the same, you cannot do it here. Here you just have literally videos that you post and that's it. Let's go on. What else do we have? E-commerce. E-commerce. So what does it mean? That means you have a Shopify store, you maybe do drop shipping. What is drop shipping? You sell some product, let's say a phone case, and you don't deal with any of the fulfillment of the logistics. Case is coming from China. You can even take it from a marketplace like Oberlo, and then you orchestrate, curate your e-commerce shop, and then you put the stuff in your shop. You brand it in a way that you like, and then you promote your shop on social or through ads or wherever it makes sense. The margins are very different, because if you sell something for $100 and then you ship it, you have, like I said, fulfillment costs, production costs, and all of that. And quite often, e-commerce is a low-ticket item, like a phone case, right? The people where this is different is, let's say, there are companies out there like 8 Sleep, which is a big bed or mattress that you can put on top of your bed for $5,000, $10,000 if you get everything. If you have a product which is $10,000 and people refer it, and you have crazy margins, then of course you only have to sell one mattress and you're already in the money. But you have production costs, you have to come up with that stuff, you have to build all of that. So I think it's hard if you want to make 10K quickly. Down here it's a D. Yeah, it's not quick enough, unfortunately. Okay, good. Next one, blue collar jobs. I think a blue collar job is actually a pretty good way to make 10K a month. Why? Because it's just a proven model. You get out there, you become really, really strong in a trade, fixing machines, plumbing, doesn't matter. And if you do a good job, then you should hit 10K really, really quickly. But you sell time for money. You're not selling product for money. It's a huge difference. But if you want to hit 10K a month fast, definitely. So I would put it in B, because it's not as scalable as the other ones here, but very proven model. Okay, next one. Becoming a public speaker, great communicator, stage presentations. If you get on stage, it's easier to get on stage than you think. You just have to look for the right stages. You have to position yourself as an expert. And then once you are at a stage, then you will be invited to bigger and bigger stages, almost like with podcast. If you want to be on the Diary of a CEO, obviously it's really hard because you don't have the credentials. But you will start on a really low priority podcast with a small audience. And there you want to make sure that you hit good engagement rates, good reactions. So let's make super explicit. Let's say the podcast owner has on average 500 views. If you can give him 1,000 views, that's really interesting. So you can then show that to one tier up on the podcast sphere, the people that have 2,000, 5,000 views per podcast, and say, look, I was an outlier there, 2x, content is good, bring me on a show. Then you get on a show there, you bring this person 20,000 views on the episode. Awesome, perfect. So then you can go one tier up, one tier up, one tier up. After 10 tiers, you're a Diary of a CEO. So that's how it works on the podcast space. The same with the stage, with stage speaking. You start on shitty stages, and then you get invited into bigger stages, bigger stages, bigger stages. Of course, you have to be strong in communication, which actually is a really important skill also to master LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Because if you convey value to the point with a strong hook, a strong body, a good call to action, to takeaway for your people, then that is worth gold. I use this myself to see if I can go into the small medium-sized business vertical this year, and I cracked 6 figures in about 6 months. So definitely can make 10K a month fast. I would put it up here, to be honest. I think it's underrated. It's a big opportunity. Talking on stage. Of course, you need to have the right events and the right audiences. If the audience is broke, if the event is, it's obviously you have to, for example, business owners. If you can speak to business owners who all make $1 million or more, and you have something that they need, then you'll be with a snap at 10K a month. Okay, good. Next, affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is so interesting because a lot of my friends were doing it for the last decade or so. And here's the thing that I'm always seeing. In the end, to make an affiliate campaign work is really hard. At some point, if you have scale, then you can make direct contracts with the product owners, the people that have the products or the offers. And then once you have that direct deal, then you can all of a sudden make money. But in order to get there, you have to become a really big affiliate. So that's one issue. Then the next one is most affiliates know that they only can make money if they come in with an angle which is borderline not legal. So for example, they would create an editorial how this mattress changed all the back pain and everything ever by sleeping on it once. Obviously that's not true, but then some people come in and they buy it, they get their commission, and then later it comes a refund because after sleeping on the mattress for one single night, back pain is still there. And so they just create narratives which convert, but not necessarily are in line with the product that is being sold. Yeah, that's one thing. And then also what I see a lot of affiliate doing is just scam traffic. They send traffic and purchases based on bots and other automations just in order to make the affiliate commission pay without really selling anything. There's a lot of, they call it black hat, people that abuse systems. Even like Google, you cannot do certain things on Google, but with the right tools and techniques, everything is possible all of a sudden, and then you have little competition. You can still market. Yeah, but you have to be, you have to be a certain type of person to become successful. So making 10K a month definitely fast is definitely possible, but I would say 99% of you out there, you're not the right person to succeed in that. So I would give it maybe you get a direct deal with someone that's not doing it yet. It's a B or it's a C. I would say let's give it a B. Why not? It's a B. Why is it a B? Because I think it's quicker than real estate. It's quicker than trading. Community business takes forever. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, we only got one left. Is that true? Awesome. Personal branding. How to creating a personal brand. How quickly is that going to make you 10K a month? Well, I can tell you that in our company, we have brand faces. So I was for 8 years faceless behind the scenes. And if you find someone that is aspirational for your ideal client and this person converts, that can work really well. But let's say if you want to become the personal brand that goes big on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, and then monetize behind that. If the question would be the business models to make, to meet, to have access to strong people, to recruit, but also strong founders, strong other people in the network, to become visible, to get access into rooms that you've never had access before. If you want to become or get business opportunities, connections that you would never have gotten otherwise over the years, which then enable you to make way more than $10,000 a month, I would say, yeah, 100% personal brand. But if you want to make $10,000 a month really fast, I would say 100% not. So this is a D. This is a D. Okay, so this is a D. Awesome. So these are the business models ranked for you on how to hit $10,000 a month fast. One thing I want to say is that it's really hard because you have a lot of shiny objects coming around all the time. Bitcoin was a shiny object for like 3, 4, 5 times. I wanted to jump on it, didn't, but I should have, because I was focused on something else. And you can say, like shiny objects can work, trends can work. There's so many people out there that you see on social that you just like see piling up, exploding, and you get this fear of missing out, right? And that's because they jump on trends. But to succeed with jumping on trends is also really hard. So I think the better way is to just focus heads down on one thing and make this work right in the market where you know the ball is going, and in a segment of the market where you know that you have strength that you can play out so that you have an unfair advantage. If you're like, just because TikTok Shop is the next cool thing, just jumping on TikTok Shop, but you have never really dealt with online business before, you don't have the skills to communicate well, you're not technical enough to maybe do it faceless, you're not going to succeed. So for that reason, pick something that is true to you, meaning that the world will pay for it. You love doing it. You can get paid for it as a person, and you just love doing it. So if that's the case, I would focus on that. Pick one which is obviously in the S or in the A, maybe in the B's max, and then just get into it. And with that, you will grow to 10K a month fast, and from there you can take it up to 100. And you know what? You can then still decide, for example, that's what we have done. We became a digital agency 10 years ago, but after 3 years, we then transitioned into a software. We transitioned into this. Was it a smart decision? Hell yeah. The company today is worth way more than a digital agency. So, and now I'm going into personal branding. That's why we talk. And I'm trying to, of course, provide more and more value to you and improve my communication so that what I share is getting better and better. But you can, of course, get into one thing, one-on-one coaching, learn about the clients, understand their pain points, their trigger points, and how to provide value for them, how to provide value to them. And once you have that, you create a course out of that and you go into an info business, which is more scalable. So you move from selling time for money to selling product for money, right? And then at some point you can add a subscription, and you can again put a personal brand on top. And let's say you blew this up on LinkedIn and maybe you had YouTube as a channel. So my point is, at some point, you will assemble the business as it makes sense to you and the market. Okay, but if you want to get to $10,000 a month fast, I would look into one-on-one coaching, creating a digital marketing agency, maybe focused on AI automations. LinkedIn is a super hot channel right now, and that's the focus. Otherwise, get on stages with audiences that have high purchase power and show them a product and offer that they cannot really say no to. Do social hacking on Instagram by sending DM messages to people which are which need help, but the big accounts cannot help them. So you show them your value and you get them over DM conversation and then into one-on-one coaching maybe again. Then go into courses once you understand what the market, what your customers need. And if you have some spare money, let's say 10%, 20% of your income every single month, you can put on Bitcoin and then grow with that over the next year. So I would say that's a really good strategy that I would do myself to hit 10K a month and then build a foundation for really great business to then make 100K a month in a second step. Awesome. So I hope that was helpful. Leave in the comments below if you have any questions. I'm happy to do another live. I'm happy to do follow-up videos or helping you to answer your questions. Subscribe if you like the content and you want to have more of that content. And if you have any ideas on how I can help you to monetize better, let me know.